What happened with Gary, and what's kind of the rotation domino effect?
He's just sick as a dog. He woke up ill and didn't go to shoot around, hasn't eaten. No way he can play. So it's a big blow.
Yeah, how do you expect that to kind of trickle down rotation?
Yeah, I mean, we have to mix and match. He's obviously been an important player for us in the series. So we're actually going through it right now and trying to figure out lineup combos. And but it definitely opens up the door for more minutes for several different options. But not going to go into any detail.
For a game like this, how much do you consult guys like Steph and Draymond when it comes to who they might want out there with them?
How much do I consult with them?
Yes.
We talk every single day about all this stuff.
Do you expect to use the Hack-Adams strategy here in Game 7? And in the playoffs, is the strategy all different given points per possession, pace, stuff like that?
Yeah, it's just a game by game basis. I remember being here. When was Game 7 against the Rockets? 18 or 17? 18. I remember we fouled Capela down the stretch of that game. Up. I think we're up 7-8. There's different ways to use the strategy. If you've got a lead and you don't want the other team to make threes, you can use it down the stretch like we did that year. You can use it like we did in Game 4 where we just needed to change the momentum. So you just read the situation and decide whether you think it's effective or not, but no magic formula for sure.
Steve, when you're looking at the Rockets zone, especially from Game 6, is the key to success just making more shots? Is it executing something better, or just, in your eyes, what's the key to success?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously faced it, all series, and it's kind of a hybrid. I think Ime would tell you, they're not really sure of the rules either. It's just they kind of pieced it together, a little bit of a box and one type of philosophy. It's clearly designed to keep Steph from getting free and then forcing other people to make plays. And so we've seen plenty of stuff like this before. The key is to fill spots, fill gaps in the zone, and get the ball moving and free your teammates up for open looks.
Steve, what will be your message to the team, your last message before you guys head out?
That's kind of between us. Yeah.
Are you that? Does that like a rah-rah message?
It's not Knute Rockne, Younger people have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but no, I'm not a rah-rah guy. I'm more, let's get our minds right. Let's settle in. And I played in, I think, 3 Game 7s maybe. And I know that the key is to lose yourself in the game. And I know our guys have experience with that, and they've done a great job of that. And you can't think about anything other than, the next play, and you go for it, and you in the end, this is, this is what we do. This is why we play, to get to these moments. And you have to embrace the fact that you might win, you might lose. So what's the most important thing? It's lose yourself in the game, let it rip, lock in on the game plan. And if you do that, then there's no regrets. There's, if you lose, there's sorrow, but there's no regrets. The only regrets that you have come if you let the circumstances dictate how you play. And that's the goal. Just let it rip.
I see in situations like these where the benefits of having Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy during this time when they're playing a younger team, with their experience versus a younger team? How beneficial is that for your roster at this point?
It's very meaningful to for our younger players to be able to follow the lead of Dre and Jimmy and Steph, Loon, the guys who've been there. And I think that'll be very helpful tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You've been in a couple of Game 7s before. What is that experience like?
A little more exciting. Obviously, the one and done situation that it is makes it more meaningful. But that's playoffs in general. Every possession, every quarter, every half, and all those things. And so I think our guys have obviously 7 games into it now, know what it is, and just stay consistent, not make it bigger than it is for them.
What are the main adjustments that you think you'll see from the Warriors make defensively, just given how you guys have shot the ball in the last few games?
I don't think you pick your poisons. They went heavy to take Jalen out. We'll see if they continue that or shift some focus to Fred or just guard traditionally and try to lock in on everybody else. So we've been doing a good job of taking care of the ball out of the blitz, making plays there, and then obviously offensive rebounding. So limit the double teams could obviously be a strategy. Play bigger to limit us off the offensive glass could be a strategy, but we'll see and be ready for whatever.
Coach, what has impressed you the most about the way Alperen Şengün has played during his first ever playoff series?
Yeah, that he just kept it simple, got back to what he does. He missed some shots early in the series and didn't get deterred by that and continued to be aggressive even in game. When he had some rough stretches shooting-wise, he impacted the game other ways and then stayed aggressive and came through down the stretch offensively. And so, consistency that he's showing throughout the year and going to different matchups and kind of adjusting on the fly. And so we do move him all over the court, and I think that's the advantage of him. He can take advantage of whoever they put on him in different situations, and he's obviously been very steady even on nights where he hasn't shot it the best.
Steven Adams described the zone defense that you guys have been deploying as weird or bizarre, and Fred went on to say that you guys have experimented with it, and then half the time they don't even know what they're doing out there. How would you describe the zone that's been used in this series and why it's been so effective?
I'd say the activity, first of all, you have to have that juice and energy behind it. Communication's been really good. We have some principles that we stick to, and then based on who's on the court for them, we can adjust and hand guys off or stay with them, and it becomes more of a matchup, box and 1E type zone. And so the initial principles are good, but I think guys' instincts as well and when to stay with Curry or when to hand them off to certain guys has been really good. But like I said, the communication, it makes us talk more. And Fred and some guys are really good up top, kind of directing traffic.
With Steven Adams playing his most minutes in a couple of years in the last game, did you realize or think that you would be playing him this many minutes and that he could give you such good minutes entering the playoff series?
Well, toward the end of the year, we understood he wasn't on any kind of restriction anymore. Early in the season, he only could go 5-minute stints, and obviously we didn't play him back-to-backs all year to have him ready for this time of year. But as his increase in minutes, you could see his legs and rhythm and all those things start to come back throughout the year. And we knew at some point he was available for whatever. And the impact he has in short stints early, and then when we ramped up his minutes was always really good. And once we started playing with the double big lineup more and doing some things to keep him fresh, felt he had no problem making it. And like I said, you could see it in real time, him get his legs, rhythm, and some of that bounce back into step. And so happy to see what he's doing. Obviously, he's impacting in a huge way, and I think the way he and we went about it this year has prepared him for this time to play with an increase in minutes.
Coach, a lot of people go and look at the box score and they see Jalen's points, and he hasn't been as effective on the offensive end because of what the Warriors are doing. But can you just talk about the things that don't show up in the box score as far as the way he's been playing defense and contributing in other areas?
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy basically making the hockey assist. If they're going to double team him, trust the ball, trust your teammates, get off the ball, and as long as you don't turn it over, Alperen and the guys behind it will make the play. And so you got to be the decoy sometimes, and they're going after him quite heavy, and guys are making him pay. And so he's done his job there. Defensively, staying locked into his matchups. Some guys got loose early, and he took on the challenge with Podziemski and Hield and some of those guys to limit them, as well as switch on Curry and or guard Butler. And so very competitive as far as that. All the things that he's really improved on over the last 2 years, he's sticking to, getting in on the rebounds and, communicating, getting back in transition. So all the competitive things that don't show up in the box score, he's been really good at. And the box score is not always going to show it, obviously, if they're trying to take you out of the game. And so everybody else has been a recipient of that, and he's done his job.
The double big lineups with Steven and LP and the zone that accompanies that, how important is it to have the length of Jabari to, I guess, mitigate what would normally be holes in that zone?
Yeah, it's good to have the big back line for sure. If we didn't play zone, obviously there'd be some cross matches there that we don't love, and at times Jabari would be chasing around little guys too, and so he benefits from that as well. But the rebounding is a big part of the back line. When guys are shifting and rotating and out of position at times, to have his length back there and rebounding ability has been big. But as our guards have grown up top and kind of spearheaded, I think he's gotten better recognition as well from the wing of when to help up or, who to help off of. And obviously the rebounding is good. So that's the versatility he brings, It's starting at the 4, but he can downsize or upsize to the 5 or 3 and not drop off much at all. So he's been great.
Ime, for Fred, what has allowed him the last few games to really flourish? And is it as simple as hitting shots? And how much will you be leaning on him tonight?
Yeah, a big part. I mean, he got really good looks in the first 2 games, and a lot of guys didn't shoot it the best. Shot kind of poorly on the shots that they had, and so that was indicative in our low scoring outputs. But yeah, he's made those shots. He's been very aggressive, but also understanding that they're taking Jalen out, a little more onus on him to create out of the pick and roll. They're guarding him more traditional, so he has the space to operate there. And as always, he makes the right read. So his aggression's been good. Running the show as always, but obviously stands out when you make those shots at the rate he is.
This time of year, we always kind of know who does what on each team. Has it been a tough scout, do you think, for the Warriors, for you guys, because it's kind of different every night? Have you seen that develop?
Different as far as what?
Who does what on a given night, whether it's maybe Jalen goes off for 38 or Fred or whatever?
Alpi and Jalen have kind of shouldered the scoring load majority of the season, but we've been really good. And I've talked about some of our best games has been the balance of scoring and equal opportunity offense when we have 7, 8 guys in double figures. And so that's been the case in some of these games. Fred leads us one night. Obviously, they're trying to take Jalen out, so other guys are recipients. And so, we've had the big games with both those guys scoring 30, or we've had really good games where everybody scores in double figures. And I think that makes it, to your point, more difficult to guard and who to key in on. You put Curry or Hield on a certain guy, we can run some sets to take advantage of that, and they can't hide those guys as easy. And so I love the balance. Try to do a little bit of everything, get out in transition, pick and roll isolation, post-ups, and the fact that we have versatile guys that can do a few of those different things makes us much more dangerous to prepare for.
Ime, you've got so many of your guys going through this for the first time, but have you been impressed that they've seemingly played their best basketball when facing elimination in the series?
Yeah, we'd say they didn't get rattled by that. I think the initial hit in the playoffs was the first game or so for some guys, and whether it's elimination or not, I think they settled in and got more comfortable as the series went. And obviously, desperation games there. We played great, played hard, but guys really didn't talk about it. We went about our business and understood what we did to lose some of those early games and made adjustments, and they've just carried on as usual. And so no nerves, not getting rattled there. And like I said, once you're kind of into 4, 5, 6 of the series, I think you settle down regardless of the situation.
How much more confidence does it give your team knowing that in the 3 games you lost, you were within 3 points, or you had to lead in the fourth quarter, and 3 games you won, y'all won by double digits in each one of those games, or at least led by double digits in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, we said that. We played an average at times and been in striking range, and if not a one-possession game, missed free throws and been right there. And when we play good, we've had really good results and had comfortable leads. And even the games we lost, we've had some double-digit leads in as well. So it's a good sign for us if we do the right things, continue to lock in on defense, and sometimes simply is make shots, make free throws. We're in good shape, and so bodes well. Obviously, the fact that we can play in a below average game or average game at best and be right there because we can rely on other things. But if we play our well-rounded game, you see the results of that as well. Thank you.